That's awful kind of you. And Sean, where you get those numbers? I don't know where you get them, but that's amazing. Appreciate it. But I guess I was asked yesterday if we've looked back on it yet, and I said no. And we talked about how this has been the year of the Cardinal. But remember, fans, our goal is to have the years of the Cardinals. That's what we want to do as our athletic department. So, first of all, Dr. Lynn, you're the greatest. Cindy, thank you so much for all you've done. And for you that don't know, as Dr. Lynn, who is our new #1 soccer fan, he's the one that is paying for the new beautiful soccer stadium across from Papa John's Cardinal Stadium that'll open up next September 1. Your generosity was above anything that anybody could have ever dreamed of, and we thank you so much. And not only the generosity for the soccer stadium, he does this for every sport. And so he's just an unbelievable individual, and his wife Cindy is certainly the better half of this because she's the catalyst behind all this, and I know that. And she signs the checks, which is even better. To the Marriott, thank you for this. I hope there's nobody from the fire department in here because I know you have certainly broken every law you possibly could to fill this room to 1,500 plus, but it's been great. You know, as we look back and look at last year, it was a remarkable year. But I don't want anything to ever get lost on what a great job all these coaches did across the board. And I think the best thing you said, Sean, to me was, or to the crowd, was we had a 3.125 cumulative GPA, but also every single one of our sports was ranked in the top 20. That, to me, is incredible. Because your athletic department, and as your athletic department, is only as good as all the teams that participated. And that's what makes us such an unbelievable, unique institution. First of all, we have an incredible faculty who supports our athletic program. You don't find that. That is something that is very rare in this country. You know, usually at schools it's like this. Here it's like this. And Shirley, I thank you for that, and your leadership has been unbelievable as we continue to go forward. But our student athletes are getting phenomenal educations. They're getting great life experiences. They're getting great experiences on the field, on the court, in the pools, on the tracks, on the golf courses. You know, that's what we want to do. That's our job. Because we know as the NCAA commercial says, there's 370,000 professionals coming out of the NCAA every year. You know, very few are putting on a uniform. They're going to work. And I think that's the thing that means so much to me about our department. Each and every coach of ours, they work in concert to make sure and ensure that this is going to happen. Charlie, it all started with you. You've set a great tone for our athletic department. Charlie's a guy that I love to be interviewed about because when they ask me, tell me about Charlie Strong, I'll say the one thing that puts him aside from anybody I know in the coaching business is they all can talk the game, but Charlie walks it. And Charlie walks it, and you do it the right way, and you're an incredible role model, my friend. When I got to go down to see Charlie and Vicky 4 years ago, I had great expectations, but you've exceeded all of them. And I just, you know, everybody wants to win. That's why we buy scoreboards. But I can tell you one thing. The way, the type of young men the coach is turning out, and this unbelievable staff who continues to stay with them, that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. And to you and your staff, to the wonderful spouses who make this so possible, we couldn't be prouder. Vicki, you're the best. You know, we look at what's happened in our past. We look at the new moves that are coming. We look at with the great anticipation of playing this year in the American Conference, which we're all going to embrace, and I really mean that seriously. This league is being very good to us, and as you know, the Big East was exceptional to us. And the American Conference, they're going to do everything in their power to make it a great stay for us for this next year. But as we move to the ACC, we have great aspirations too, and we want to continue to build and look forward to those many monumental years that we have in the future. But as we finish up, or as I finish up here, you know, I want you all to understand it's been an unbelievable 16 years, and I'm so honored and I'm so privileged to have this opportunity to be your athletic director. So thank you all for being here.
Works, and to Dr. Lynn, at any time, you could go say, expand that stadium whenever you feel like it. And if we continue to play the way we're playing, we will get that stadium expanded. And to Dr. Ramsey, I know he left, he said that he didn't want to hear me speak. So he was going to Atlanta, James. So what Dr. Ramsey does for this program is unbelievable. And Tom said it with the faculty we have. And I'm going to talk about academics here in a second, but it's just to have the support that he has. And we know that he's behind us 100%. And to our athletic director, I can say this. I remember that day. It was on a Sunday. And I was at University of Florida at the time, and we just got beat by Alabama. So I got a phone call and said, hey, Tom Jurich would like to meet with you. And he said, I'm going to come and meet you at your house. So I was at the house there, and it was a Sunday afternoon. It's probably about 75 degrees outside. Had on a pair of shorts and a T-shirt. And he pulls up. And he pulls up in his car, and it had a Louisville license tag on it with the Carterberg. And I said, well, you can't leave that car out here. Let's pull it in the garage. Because at that time, the media was down the street, and they was just trying to find out. They knew at some point we were going to meet, but they was trying to piece it all together. So we go in the house, and he says, you know what, I don't even want to talk to you. He said, bring your family here, your two girls. And he asked them that day, he says, hey, I'm offering your dad a head coaching position at University of Louisville. Would you like to live in Louisville? And you know them, they're like, oh yeah, But to my wife, Victoria, and my two girls, Haley and Hope, and I have an amazing coaching staff. And I would like to introduce them. I will start with the offensive side, since I'm a defensive coach. Our offensive coordinator, Sean Watson, and his wife, Anita. Our wide receiver, Coach Ron Dugans, and his wife, Yashika. Our offensive line, Coach Dave Borbley, and his wife, Bev. Coach Carter, our special teams coach, running back coach. Sharon Moore, our tight end coach. Now I'm going to introduce a lot of people here now, so you're going to be clapping for a while. Our defensive side, our defensive coordinator, Vance Bedford. Our linebacker coach, Brian John Marie, and his wife, Geraldine. Our safeties coach, Tommy Restivo. And it's good to get the big man back, Clint Hurt and his wife, Tanisha. The guy who runs this program, Pat Moore, and his wife, Sharon. My community director, Larry Slade, and his wife, Azetta. Now, this guy meets me every morning, whatever time of morning it is. It's amazing. And Coach Hurt always teases him. He says, one of these days, Coach, you're going to walk in here, and Coach G, Coach Paul Gearing, where's Coach G at? Oh, all the way back here in the back. Coach G. Our recruiting office, Mike Giglio, Marshall Malcow. Our training room staff, Kyle Johnston. Blake LeBunt and his wife, Amanda. Where's Kevin, Josh, Sam? You guys all stand up there. They're all assistants right there. Clipper Snowden, Director of Football Ops. Mike Karosky and Ed Connell in the equipment room. Dave Spina and George Claiborne, our video directors. Now my graduate assistants, Justin Burt, Will Stein, Brian Bennett, Andrew Blaylock, Brian Daniel, Andy Woofram, John Saxton, and Aaron Watson. Coach Moore assistant, Brandon Roberts, who's had a bigger impact on this program than anyone. Chris Morgan and his wife, Tammy. He runs our chapel service. Our academics. Whenever you talk about just changing a program, and when you look at a program, the first thing you always want to tackle, a lot of times people think about the players and what type of players you have and how good are they, Coach? What do you really have? And that's how I got Coach Moore here. I come in the first day on this job. He says, Coach, what kind of players you have? I said, there's some really good players there, Coach. And he said, really? I said, yeah, you're just going to have to come in and work them out some and get them a little bigger, stronger, and faster, and we'll be okay. So he comes into the program and says, you lied to me. And I said, what did I lie about? He said, there's no guys here. I said, well, there's no guys here right now. We're going to have to go recruit them, but you'll be behind. But you had to change the academic side of it. And I can remember that first meeting. And I come walking in that door. And some of these guys that are here right now, like Champ and Durant and Phylon, they can remember that meeting because they talk about it all the time. But I had some really good words for the team at the time. And I told them, I said, I'm going to say this to you guys. From here out, this football program will have better than a 2.5 or better at every semester. And if it doesn't, you will find it somewhere else to go play. And so when I look at our academic staff and what was happening with Marvin Mitchell, and he was able to actually place our academic staff in the football facility. And so when we come in after practice, there's nowhere for our guys to go. Everything's right there for the computers. Then they go right from meeting rooms. They can come back and just do all their work right there in the building. Justin Ruffin. Where's Justin at? Right here. And what Justin has done has been unbelievable. His assistants, Christine Jackson, Carlton Hill, and Regina Johnson. But it's amazing just to see how the program has changed. And just when players come in, and I always say to them, 4 years is too late now. If you're not getting your degree in 3.5 years, then you're too late. And that's what I expect. I expect our athletes to come in here because what happens with our athletic director, he pays for them to go to summer school. So they can stay here over the summer, go to summer school, get as many credits they like, and then they can get out of here in December, which a lot of them are doing. But it is, and it's really great that the academic support that we have with the faculty that we have. And some of our coaches, for some of you don't even know this, our coaches, they go and check classes now, and they check it in the springtime. They'll walk in a classroom, and a lot of times, I can remember the first time I ever went and checked a class, the teacher thought I was the guest speaker. And I said, no, I am not the guest speaker. And I tell you who the player was. Right now, he's at the Seattle Seahawks. It was Greg Scruggs. Greg Scruggs was a good student, but at semester, he had a very low GPA. And I said, no, you see that guy up in the gray sweats? I said, I'm just here to make sure that he's in class. And he said, please, Coach, don't embarrass me. I said, I'm not going to tell him what your GPA was, but I just want to make sure that everyone sees me here and know the reason why I'm here. But our coaches check classes because if we're going to talk about academics and we're going to talk about the future of these young men, then it's all about academics. It's about them getting a degree. And once they step out into the real world, they know how to function because now they have something in their hand that they can walk into a job and they can feel like good about walking into a job knowing that they have a chance to go get any job that they like. And for a lot of you out here, business people, a lot of these men, they don't want to leave Louisville now, so you can keep them right here because they want to stay right here in Louisville, so you have a chance to get them a job. But it's amazing what was happening within this program, and it's all about winning, and it's all about guys doing it the right way. But I will say this, I know that you've heard about the autograph session, but I don't ever want to place our players' eligibility in jeopardy. And the reason why I don't want to do it, because a lot of times people take these autographs from these players, and they don't know what they're doing with it, but I just didn't want that to become an issue because I say this, we have the best fans in the country, bar none. Bar none, the best fans in the country. But I want our players to feel like that never once do we have to suspend someone because we're waiting on a ruling from the NCAA. But you can do this. Just 2 Sundays ago, I was sitting at home. The doorbell rings. I go to the door. There's no one there. So I walk outside. And I see a 12-year-old, he's in the bushes, and then one is laying down in the garage. I can't really see him. So I said, hey, what are you doing? So he gets up, then the other one comes out of the bushes, and he said, well, Coach, we wasn't for sure if you lived here, but we just wanted to come and meet you. And I said, well, come on in. So about that time, they whistled, and about 5 more come running out. So they all come walking in the house. There was 8 of them. So they're Hope's age, they're 12 years old. So I bring them in the house. So we sit there talking. So one keeps raising his hands. Hey, Coach, what about Devontae Parker? How's he doing? Hey, Coach, what about your offensive line? Are they going to be good? So I said to my man, or you're not in the classroom, you don't have to raise your hand. But then they say, will you please take a picture with us? No one's going to believe that we're here. So I get them all together. We take this picture. And one guy, the one who rung the doorbell, he says, well, I get to go first because I rung the doorbell. So we're going to use my phone, and I will send it to everyone. I walk out of practice on Monday, and there's a lady standing there. She has this picture for me. And she said, I'm so sorry, but that was my son that rung your doorbell. So here's a picture that you may have. And it was just so funny. So if a lot of you want to try that, I think you can get away with an autograph. You just want to step by. But it's just a truly amazing. When you talk about this football team, and you just talk about just how far we've come. And our theme this year is all about us. We're not going to worry about the opponent. We're not going to worry about the schedule. We're not going to listen to the noise in the system. It's all about us coming in and going to work each and every day. And we have a chance each and every day to go get better. And people ask me, hey, what type of team are you going to have? Like, what is your team? Is it going to be a team that doesn't get complacent? Is it going to be a team that doesn't get full of themselves? What type of team are you going to have? I always think about this. We aren't what we want to be. We aren't what we should be. We aren't what we ought to be. But thank God we aren't what we used to be. But I have no idea how long is it going to take us to get to the top. But that is our goal. But in order for us to get to the top, we have to go through 4 stages. Number 1, we have to learn to be competitive. We have to believe, and we have to look at our schedule and believe that everyone on that schedule that we can go beat. And there's no reason for us not to. Number 2, we have to learn how to win. Home and away, we have to learn how to win. And we have to have enough confidence and enough belief in our teammates that at some point, and if you think about even last season when we had to come back from a lot of victories, that somebody's going to make a play. And they're going to have to make a play that Devontae Parker made in that Cincinnati game. Or they're going to have to make a play that Teddy Bridgewater made in that Rutgers game with one arm and one wrist. But somebody's going to have to stand up the first play of the Sugar Bowl when T. Floyd intercepts that ball and takes it the distance. Somebody's going to have to go make a play. We're going to learn how to be competitive. And you think about being competitive as losing and winning. There's always problems. When you start winning, and what has happened here now, all the players start feeling good about themselves. They think they got the answers. Yesterday's practice, and I tell you, was god-awful. Yesterday's practice, but I would say this to you. A lot of those guys are sitting out there right now, and they're saying, Coach, hurry up, because this morning they woke up at 5 and we practiced at 6. So they've already gotten a practice in, and they're going to come back this afternoon and get another practice in. So we're going to get it out of them one way or another. So I tell them all the time, you're going to work, so I'm going to either get it now or I will get it later. So you might as well make up their mind when you want to get it done. But what happens when guys start feeling good about themselves, is guys start getting complacent, then that's when the issues happen. But we have to learn how to be competitive, and then we want to take this program to the next level, where losing is unacceptable, whether it be 1 game or 2 games. That doesn't really matter. But we have to become a competitive team, consistent, what Tom said earlier, consistent team, impressive team, where it's week in and week out where we go play, and as a team, we play together and we look good. There's only 2 mandates in this program. Number 1, graduate. We want to see every player in this program graduate, and that's going to happen. Like I said earlier, I can remember our first year, I think I had 25 seniors. Of that 25 seniors, 23 of them have graduated. There's been 98 players come through this program. 92 of the 98 have graduated. And that will continue to happen as long as those young men are in our program. And I say to them all the time, it's hard for me to get rid of a player. And it is. It's very hard for me to get rid of a player, because I feel like this. If I feel like if we can't handle them as a staff, with the staff that I have, if we can't discipline them as a staff, then no one else can, because I have the best coaches in the country. So when a player comes into this program, people are going to say, he may be an issue. He's no issue for us. Because as long as I got P. Moore sitting over there, and Clint Hurt and his coaching staff, there should be no issues within our program. But guys are going to graduate. And number 2, we're going to win. And it's all about winning. Because you know what? Winning, you have fun winning. And when players have fun, then that's when they want to play. And that's what's happening right now. From 11-2 to right now, what, preseason number 9, don't listen to the noise. Someone said don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't listen to the noise in the system. because it's still about hard work. And it's still about each and every day guys getting up and they're feeling good and they want to go to work, having an edge to you. And that has to happen within our program. Number one, hey, just go do the right thing. Ask guys, number one, go do the right thing. Go do your best and show that you care about people. You know, our players do community service work. And the reason why we do the community service work is that we want people to know that we really appreciate your support. You look at this room right now. We need to knock down that wall back there and just continue to fill this up. And you know what? It will only get better and better and better. But I always think about, you know, when I go to visit the different hospitals and then you have a chance to walk in, you talk about caring about other people, and you walk into a hospital and you see, you know, from an adult to a child, and they're sitting there with any type of illness. And the reason why I do it, I say, for that few minutes, there's a young man or a young lady who gets a smile, and then there's a nurse who you can say, you know, we don't ever really think about what the nurses and doctors, where each day they're trying to find a way to just pick that person up. You know, they're trying to pick them up. And then all of a sudden you go walking in the room and they're sitting there like, you know, one person asked one time, who was I? And I just like, oh God, I don't know who I am, so I might as well just walk out of here. But it does remind me of a story. One time I was in South Carolina and I was speaking at this banquet. And so you know how those high school banquets are, you're sitting there and up on the stage, they have the tables and you have all these sports. And so when I'm sitting there, so they give you this big old steak and then they give you a big baked potato and green beans. So they pass it around, so and then they only give like one slab of butter for that big old baked potato. So there's a guy, you know, he's passing out a slab of butter, so I hit him, I said, hey, can I get another slab of butter? And he says, one slab of butter per person, sir. I said, okay. So then he goes back around, so he's come back, and I said, hey, I'm Charlie Strong, I'm the guest speaker here today, and could I have another slab of butter for my baked potato? And the guy's like, so, and the guy looks at me and said, do you know who I am? And I was like, no. He said, well, I'm the guy with the slab of butter, and it's only one slab of butter per person, so. But we must continue to work, and our program will always be built on core values. Number one is be honest. Number two is treat women with respect. Treat women with respect. Number three is no drugs, no stealing. And number four is no guns. That will be the foundation of our program. And you think about, a lot of these players have been around that during their life. But when they come into this program, they no longer are part of that. And they understand that. And I tell them all the time, we're here to work with you. We want you to be something special. We want you to grow up being someone special. And that will always happen within our program. Commitment, attitude, respect, discipline, sacrifice. Being totally committed with the right attitude, having respect for yourself, for other people, being disciplined. You know what's right or wrong. You know what is right or wrong, and sacrifice, being willing to give back. But if we continue to have the foundation of this program, continue to want to build, and never settle for just being complacent. Never settle, because each and every day, it's always you had to have an edge about you. You had to have an edge about you. You want to go be the best. Why not? Why would you do anything else if you don't want to go be the best? And that's what we want to be with this program. We want to go be the best. And we will continue to work with it. Our players will continue to represent this community the right way, and we will continue to do things the right way. But I really appreciate it. Thank you for all of your support, and thank you for coming out today.